So the comedy YouTube channel Viva la Dirt League has come out with its premiere video game, Nice Day for Fishing. And the question on a lot of our minds is it any worth playing? Hello, welcome to Intermarifica, New Mexico, the channel where we look at things of wonder from the perspectives of faith and reason, philosophy and theology. I'm your host, Daniel Kelly, and today we're looking, as we've been doing every other week, at wonders of the culture and the wonders of video games. And I know I was going to put my Final Fantasy III review today, and that is coming, but I really like this other YouTube channel, Viva la Dirt League, and their game just came out, and I wanted, and I think a lot of people are wondering, hey, how well can a YouTube channel make a video game? And that's what I wanted to explore today. So if you don't know what it is, Viva la Dirt League is a channel that started pretty small but got big, and it's humor based off the tech industry, video games, even just retail stuff. And for the most part, their videos are pretty good. Of course, with so many, they've been around for a long time. There's some that are not so good and some that are good, but overall, like quite a bit. So they wanted to be more separate from the platforms they're on and stuff, so they made a website, Viva Plus, which I think is really cool. And they also were like, hey, let's make our own video game, which is really cool. I think if you're successful doing stuff like this, you should do cool stuff like that. So the game is Nice Day for Fishing, and there's stuff that I really, really like about it. First, I was surprised how much I like the music. The music is really good, and video game music overall I think is pretty good, surprisingly good, but they top-notched with the music on this. I really like that. The graphics on this game are very, very good. I like that quite a bit, where you can tell who the characters are from the actors that usually portray the characters in their channel, and I really like that. Even people that I don't think I've ever seen, like the mayor of Honeywood, I recognized exactly which actor that was, and that's cool. So I really like that. I really like the unique battle system. So you're a fisherman, and the battle system is every battle is you fishing, and it has a mechanic where you have to use your attacks and stuff when the fish is not pulling against you. If you use your attacks when it's pulling and when it's attacking, you're going to get damage. And so in a way it's kind of turn-based, but also very action-oriented, and I love it. It's very good. Adding in the spells that you can do, you're a fisher guy and you're adding in these RPG spells, pretty funny and cool, and it's a really cool, unique system that I enjoyed quite a bit. Another good thing was the voice acting. They used their they don't voice act everything, but they use their classic clips for each character at different times from their videos. I thought that was pretty cool. My daughter, and she's little, laughed out loud at the one where the fruit salesman, Fred, I'm pretty sure his name is, where his wife was like, "You look like an old man baby." And I was surprised she got that. She just laughed out loud and kept asking for that part again. So that was pretty cool. But that gets us to what a lot of people are wondering is, how is the humor in this game, right? Because it's a humorous channel that made it. Is the humor any good? And I think a lot of the humor doesn't work as well in this medium that they try as it does in the channel. I think a lot of their jokes and stuff rely heavily on their acting, their charisma, their ability to put it out there, and obviously that's not here. So I think some of the stuff falls a little bit flat. I don't think the humor is as good. I think one of the biggest jokes of the game, and I think they did this on purpose, but I'm not positive, is kind of like Mark Twain's The Celebrated Jumping Frog of Calaveras County, right? Which I love. Mark Twain's awesome. I don't think he's the best American author for fiction, but he's close. He might be the best, and I discussed that more in other videos. But one of his best jokes, I think, was a practical joke, The Celebrated Jumping Frog of Calaveras County, where it was a practical joke on his readers, on humanity. It was a joke for him at their expense, at our expense, where he wrote a pointless story and people, as a practical joke. And I think that's such a good practical joke. But it's not a very good story. It's not very fun to read because it wasn't meant to be. It was a joke for him, for his entertainment. And I feel like some of the stuff in this game is like that. This leads me into what I think is not so good on this game. They make fun of fetch quests a bunch on their channel, And this game has a bunch of fetch quests where you're going back and forth. And it's kind of like a haha, but haha on you as the player. It's kind of like a practical joke. And it leads to very, very inconsistent pacing in this game. So I think this would have been a much, much better game with less back and forth. The world is not huge, which is how I think it should be. For this game. Exploring the world's cool, but there's so many gateways just to explore just a little bit of just back and forth. That's none of the cool meat, none of the combat and stuff. And also the pacing is bad for the rewards, for the different quests and stuff you do. The best rewards are when you get these new spells that help you in combat. Those are super cool. And those are locked, I think, appropriately behind when you've caught the fish for each region. And that's super cool. But the other rewards for quests, a lot of times, is just gold. And for a huge portion, you can have bought everything there is and you're still getting gold. And you're like, what am I doing with this? A lot of the rewards, you're like, what am I doing? Doesn't seem like a good reward. And that opens up later. But again, this is a pacing issue where later you have stuff to spend gold on and stuff. But it just takes too long where you're like kind of wandering aimlessly. And there's not wandering, it's always clear what you need to do, but it's just too much of nothing's going on and the rewards don't feel very rewarding. So I think that's a really big minus on this game, is the pacing. I think that is the big minus. The story, there's a couple interesting things I want to point out. Well, first, I think it's cool how they their gaming world in their channel is supposed to be like a massively multiplayer online, right, MMO, but they have in the story why it's just you playing. It's just you and all the other characters are gone. That was cool. I think it's cool how the main bad guy in their normal channel are the Fire Lords, but because you're a fisherman, it's a water-based, these evil things. That kind of juxtaposition is very, very good. I like that. One of the things I found very funny is, and I find this in a lot of video games and pop culture, fantasy pop culture, is one of the characters says, yeah, I'm one of the old gods, I demand sacrifice, which I think is just so funny. And it's because our post-Christian culture is so culturally illiterate with its roots that we have these ideas that old gods would demand sacrifice, but newer ones wouldn't. Anything worth calling God, I don't know if it would demand sacrifice, but anything worth being called a god, and everybody knew this until about 10 seconds ago in world history, would require sacrifice. Well, just because anything that you love requires sacrifice. And maybe the demons who are not gods would demand it because they see, oh, gods need sacrifice and they don't understand love. But God himself demands sacrifice. He demands all of us, you know. That's what Jesus was the only person who could actually give a sacrifice worth giving to God, and that's awesome for us as humans because humanity actually gave something good to God. So it's only this kind of weak Western culture, atheism and agnosticism, that pretends that it doesn't require sacrifice for its worship, but it really still does, because you're sacrificing your heart, yourself, who you are. So, all be that as it may, so overall, is this a good game? Is it worth getting? Should I get it? Well, I think there's three considerations. If you just like to try different games with new systems, kind of quirky stuff, and you're not too worried about if they're janky, if they have kind of like different little issues, and you just want to try new things out, yes, I would say get it. If you're somebody who wants to support smaller independent companies that are making new stuff in general, and Viva la Dirt League in particular, like I think they're worth supporting, seeing what they're doing. That's a little more complicated because you're like, it's not a great game, should I support that? But yes, I still think I would fall on the, yeah, you should get it. If you just want, the third thing is if you just want a game to play, well, that depends on how much time you have. If $20 is how much it is, that's not very much. But if you don't have a lot of time for playing video games, I'd probably err towards something else. So my bottom line is, this is a good game. I'm happy that they did it, but it's not a great game. I hope that was helpful for you. You have a good day. God bless.